I remember Rihanna started following me on Instagram. My page just blew up and it became really popular instantly. Everyone in the world was going to see this tattoo, and you can't imagine the pressure of that. These people are technically my walking portfolio. I think with music and with tattooing, they're both creative fields. Just naturally, they're always going to have some kind of link. I'm Callie Jo. I have tattooed Rihanna, Professor Green, Alexandra Burks, Sienna Miller, Huey Morgan, Tim Howard, and many more. I actually grew up in Eastleigh. I've lived most of my life in Eastleigh. It's a very small town, there's not many people, it's very cliquey. I think when I was about 14 years old, I remember sitting in the car with my mum and I said, "Mum, I want to be a tattoo artist." That's probably not what you want to hear or not what you're expecting to hear. So to have her blessing and to have her just push me and support me has been so important. And I actually tried to get a job in the only shop in Eastleigh in the town, and they wouldn't give me a job, and I was absolutely gutted. Despite the fact that there are a lot of female tattoo artists now and it's not so taboo to be a woman in the tattoo industry, but I think it's definitely still a man's world. I never expected it to go anywhere other than just tattooing people, and that was all I ever wanted to do, and that's still all I want to do, is just tattoo my normal everyday clients. That's the best part about the job. So I grew up in Southampton and I went on to study fine art at Winchester School of Art. I then graduated, and the day that I graduated I went to my friend Ricky, who had a tattoo shop in Southampton, and I kind of forced him to give me an apprenticeship, and I then went on to work at a shop called Drag Strip, where I apprenticed under a guy called Pete Belson, who's a really amazing black and grey tattoo artist. From there, I then moved to London, to Notting Hill, to work at Love Hate, which is Army James' shop. Then now I work in New York at Grit and Glory. I remember Rihanna started following me on Instagram. It was when Instagram first came out, and one of my friends had said to me, "Did you know Rihanna is following you on Instagram?" And I was like, "No, I don't think that's true." And it turned out it was her, which was amazing. And I initially thought it was just for photography. And then I started photographing my artwork. Yeah, my page just blew up and it became really popular instantly, which I didn't expect at all. So I think there was almost sort of yin and yang of like appreciation from tattoo artists, but also a lot of hostility from tattoo artists, because I think they were just kind of like, well, who is this person? She hasn't sort of earned her stripes. Many years later, I ended up in New York and I was working at my friend's shop, Bang Bang Tattoo. She had just had a tattoo done on her hand already, which is like a Maori hand poke tattoo, and I guess she wasn't completely happy with it and she wanted to have it covered up. She had spoken to Bang Bang about the tattoo, and he had mentioned that I was also in New York, and she was like, "Well, great, I want both of you to come and do this tattoo." We flew to the Dominican. Yeah, the next day we ended up tattooing her till very late in the morning. I felt extremely nervous tattooing her, even though I'd already met her a couple of times already. This tattoo is so visible, it's her entire hand. She's a singer, her hand is always in front of her face. So I knew that everyone in the world was going to see this tattoo, and you can't imagine the pressure of that. I see a lot of sort of like mimicked celebrity tattoos, and people have definitely asked me, especially after Rihanna, the henna on the hand, I've had a lot of requests for things like that. So I think that celebrities actually have quite a big influence on the tattoo world. So I met Stephen, aka Professor Green, I think it was 2 years ago. I was actually at the MOBO Awards, and obviously he has some tattoos already, so we had a chit chat about tattoos and things. Probably wasn't until about a year later, I think, I actually ended up tattooing his head. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I always end up being given these extremely visible areas to tattoo on people. I mean, it's good, obviously these people are technically my walking portfolio, so head tattoos and hand tattoos is great. It's not things that I'd normally do. I think that the influence that celebrities are having on tattooing is so huge, and on the one hand it's great because people are no longer frowned upon or looked down on for what they look like, but at the same time I think people are getting tattooed younger and in worse situations. Sometimes, equipment is so much easier to get hold of, so it is a booming industry, but it's not necessarily a great thing. And I think that definitely within sort of the tattoo community, it's something that we like to keep kind of sacred, and it's becoming almost impossible. I think with music and with tattooing, they're both obviously creative fields, so I think just naturally they're always going to have some kind of link. Just because obviously singers, songwriters, artists, painters are all extremely creative and emotional people. So it's a cool thing that happens. You know, if a celebrity asks you to tattoo them, like, that's awesome. Obviously, that's, you know, it's very flattering. But I just love my day-to-day clients. They're like what makes it all worth it.